Hello, my name is Terry. This video will cover our first rotation video footage. This is part 2 of the Pythian Castle ghost hunt, which occurred on May 14th, 2022. The following few clips were captured in a specific room down in the basement. It's the one when you're facing the giant rock monster. It's the big figure that's downstairs. It's the room to the left. This room is normally kept all locked up, but I specifically opened this room up because I wanted people to go in there because it has very strong emotional impacts on individuals. During this first rotation, one of the female guests who went into this room was reacting to it. She described in the following footage that it was making her feel sad and that she almost passed out inside the room, that it was affecting her so strongly. During past investigations, the most common thing that occurs in this room is panic attacks. People feel that they just have to get out of this room. During the footage of the second rotation, which will be in a separate video, one man went into this room and was experiencing extreme anger.
What's in here can go after people, but
you're not allowed to go after me.
We can't let it go after us.
only
You're
certain
not allowed to
people
touch me.
are vulnerable to it.
Yeah, no.
And it can go after one person and they'll get an anxiety attack and they'll be forced to leave.
Yeah, I've about passed out.
Oh, in there?
Yeah.
You're one of the people who's susceptible to it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, yes, certain people, most people walk in there unaffected. There's a handful of people who go in there and it just goes to town on them.
Yeah. I've about passed out and had to like come out and sit on the step.
There's also a particular spot that's strongest, right when you walk in and to the left.
Side, yes.
Yeah, that's exactly the spot.
You start getting feelings of like
Tight chest,
yeah.
heavy.
Yeah,
Yes.
it gets tight on my chest and you start feeling sad and depressed.
The following group of clips was captured in the basement in the kitchen area. We were discussing cooking down in the kitchen area, and then all of a sudden we were beginning to experience smells of fresh cotton candy. This is a very unusual smell. It's a very sweet smell. There are also 2 other odors that occur at this castle. The other one, which I've also experienced, occurs at the entrance to the tunnel to about 100 feet in, and it smells more like perfume, and it's a very floral scent. The cotton candy is a very distinct smell that is different than this smell. One of the guests also said they experienced the smell of pee on the 1st or 2nd floor. I've never encountered this during my years of ghost hunting here.
This room can be very active.
Are you hungry? Do you want me to make some food?
You like pork.
Do you like pork?
Do you know that it's fake? It's not real food.
Did you cook in here?
Do you smell something sweet, like a cotton candy?
I do. Actually, I smell, but I also smell pee. Through the castle when we would walk different floors, I would smell pee in the middle, and I'm like, Laura, it smells like pee. She goes, I know. And I'm like,
On the way back.
I smell cotton candy.
I smell cotton candy too.
Hey,
Are you sharing cotton candy with us? Object. I know, I'm holding an object.
Ken, can you smell it? It's cotton
I
candy.
can smell it.
It's a sweet, like
So sweet. Are you making cotton candy?
I like to conduct tests with these ghosts. I wanted to make sure that they could hear us. I held up 2 fingers and I asked them how many fingers I was holding up. I didn't hear this reply at the time, but there was a reply that said 1, 2, and the number 2 was correct. Later, through the ghost box, we heard a reply that said 100. And I've had this happen before where you ask them how many fingers you're holding up and they'll give these ridiculous numbers. But the fact that they're providing numerical replies means that they do hear you.
How many fingers am I holding up?
Making dessert. You're not so specific.
What else would you like to make?
It said his name.
What did it say?
Ken.
Is that its name?
No, that's Ken's name.
Oh, Ken.
It's,
Are you following Ken? Is Ken your friend? I can't understand.
I didn't understand that.
Do you know my name? Do you know her name? This one, first one second. It's are you here? Remove.
It just spiked. I saw in the thing. It went up.
Yeah,
Oh,
and it says remove. When it spiked, it said remove. What do you want to remove? $100.
that's kind of interesting because I was asking for a numerical answer. I'm holding up two fingers, but it came up with a ridiculous number of 100.
Yeah.
But that is a numerical reply.
Right.
I also asked, what's your favorite color?
What is your favorite color?
Hey, did you just hear something? Like a... Did you hear that? You didn't? Did you hear it? I've got the camera running. I heard it.
Okay, cool. Was it a gasp?
Yeah, it was...
Measure. Are we measuring it?
It was like the sound that someone makes when they're exasperated. That's what it sounded like. Yes.
Can you spike this for me again?
That was kind of weird what it came up with.
It's like a pressure on my arm right here. Like a pressure. Nothing bad on it.
Sounds like we had trouble.
One of the ghosts comments with the phrase ripped up here. I don't know if he's referring to the man who cut his throat in this room years ago.
Are you here? Can you spike it for me? There
It did.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, went up to the yellow.
You're here. Would you like to say something?
Were you feeling any
What
sort
would you like to say? Yeah. Yeah. It's like shoes. It came up shoes earlier though too. But I have goosebumps every time I walk into a room. I think I'm sensitive maybe because I get massive goosebumps.
Shoes
So
could
I
be
can kind of tell.
a reference to Mr. Boots. That could be a reference to him. Because where he usually starts, the marching starts in there, comes in through here, goes into that room, and he goes down and walks the length of the tunnel. There is another.
Shoes.
She doesn't show up very often. There's a female ghost who's also down in that tunnel.
Yeah.
And Mr. Boots is very distinct. It's a man's boots, heavy footfalls. The female ghost is a very dainty walk. It's, I call it a nurse because it sounds like nurse's shoes walking down there. It's very light-footed.
You know Mr. Boots, is he nice? He's nice, so I shouldn't worry.
No, from what we gather, he's a very professional individual, and he kept a tight rein over his prisoners. How it worked was
Praise God. So I shouldn't be scared.
The Italian prisoners were very easygoing and laid back, and they were basically left to go without security, and they came and go as they went. But the German POWs were diehard Nazis, and they were dangerous.
Yeah.
So he provided the armed escort between the castle and the building out back, which is at the very end of the tunnel. that fake wall is underneath that building. And sometimes you'll hear them walking the length of the tunnel.
Are you the one making the cotton candy smell?
Whiskey? Did it say whiskey? I don't know, that's what I thought I heard.
Cross the rods if you want us to go down the hallway.
I'll try. I'd like to go into that setup. Watch.
The next clip is extremely unusual. The military ghost that we call Mr. Boots, who's heard going up and down the tunnel, can often be communicated with. He's very sympathetic to people who have family in the military or are military members themselves. What happened next was I had the Ovilus device and I gave it to one of the people to go down into the tunnel. As soon as I'd handed it to the one woman, it came up with the name Johnny. This is the name of a relative who is now deceased. What was also very puzzling is that it didn't stop at this point.
It's wigging out now. Somebody's here.
Somebody's here. Johnny.
Johnny, are you here?
I had just handed her the device, and it came up with the name Johnny,
Which is her brother.
which is her
that
brother
died.
who's deceased. Then the immediate word that came up after was the word hurt.
I mean, because as soon
Yeah.
as you touched it, it said Johnny.
Oh, look, we're getting a red.
But then,
Went all the way across.
so the EMF meters are starting to go off. So it moved from the one that was talking to the Ovilus, then it moved to her other hand, then it appears to be, it moved over. It
All
stopped.
the way.
Okay, my heart just started racing. Yep.
I just want to be able to see this with my.
Okay, your heart started racing. Did you have any feeling of any temperature change? Or?
I mean, my hands started sweating.
Okay, okay. Mr. Boots is a very professional soldier. He wouldn't hurt anyone, but there are German POWs. And, well, yeah, but he also may not want you down there because those POWs are there too.
That's why he's probably, the further she got, the crazier this got.
Yeah, it was like don't, but I could feel like the pressure, like don't.
Okay. He may have also been trying to protect you from them.
Yeah, true, very true.
But the bizarre coincidences didn't stop there. It then came up with the number 32, which was relevant to two different parties of people down in the tunnel. One person named Mark would have been 32 years of age when they died, and another person who I talked to later outside the tunnel said that a relative who died at the age of 3 named Kyle would have been 32 years of age at this point in time, and on the following day would have been 33 years of age. So they, by coincidence, overheard it. Or if whatever it is that's down in the tunnel waited until that person got within earshot with the device before it said the number 32, so that it could be deliberately overheard by the person it was intended for.
Whenever I was Mark. Huh? I thought you said Mark. My brother.
Oh, can I ask you a question? Did he have any military?
Yes. Marine Corps.
Oh boy, okay. Mr. Boots has an empathy for people with military.
And my husband was in the military.
You want to know something? I would say go down to the end of the tunnel
Okay.
and
All right.
explain that I think he may already, he's overhearing these conversations. Hey, wait a minute, did it just describe one of your ages?
My dad was 32 when he passed away, and it said his name.
Oh, okay, he's conveying very specific information to you.
Yeah.
I handed it to her. She's your mom.
Yeah.
It said hurt, and it said Johnny. And Johnny died. Well,
Yeah, it was of a broken heart.
it was saying 32. And apparently, this is the age that when someone died, was that their age?
No.
Kyle, he's 32 right now, but tomorrow he'll be 33.
Yeah.
So my brother passed away when he was 3, but right now, today, like, he would be 32.
That's what he's down in the tunnel relaying this information.
But
I
Okay,
don't know her, the Johnny.
okay.
So, but the other lady that got marked on her phone, she has a thing on her phone, is our dad's name.
Who
So
passed
she
away?
walked up behind us and she got marked. I'm like, okie dokie.
Mr. Boots, are you going to help them out tonight? Their family's related to military. There's a 15-minute break, and then you'll be
I just
going
saw or
to the top. Where at?
right behind you. And then it was like right in front of a white light. It flashed right up in that light.
Not here, I don't smell the cotton candy.
I think I got it.
Oh, I smell the cotton candy.
I do now, right now.
See, okay, they're smelling the cotton candy smell again. It's down here.
Did you smell it?
I smell it too, it's strong.
It smells like maple
And I
donuts.
have a nose through the end of the light in that tunnel.
did you?
Did you?
Awesome.
Pretty cool.
Very neat. What he was.
And then one of the other girls got marked, that was their dad's name that died when they were 8, 10, and 12. The 3 girls and their mom.
Wow.
For a while. We'll